Welcome to another Rolled in Reacts episode. This customer came in saying that their brakes have started to feel weird lately and asked the mechanics to have a look. This customer had changed their own brake lines but had to come in because of a leak. Customer came in saying that their steering wheel has started to wobble a lot lately. The owner of this car had accidentally topped their car up with washer fluid instead of engine oil. This customer had designed his very own emergency battery starter and said that his biggest idol is Nikola Tesla. Thank God Tesla didn't have to see this one. And this customer had their friend install brake rotors and pads for them, but apparently got the wrong rotor size, and this is what the mechanic found. And this Toyota Tacoma rolled in for some wheel balancing after the owner had tried doing it by himself. And God only knows when this car had its last oil change. Customer states, changed timing belt together with a friend, but now engine runs really rough. And this Hyundai came in for its first oil change in 3 years. And this customer came in saying, did some repairs myself, but now my car clunks a lot. When you're just that determined to get every last mile out of your tires. This 2019 Honda CR-V came in for an oil change, and this is what the mechanic found. Apparently, the car had 60,000 miles on it and hadn't had a single oil change since new. And apparently, the owner of this Dodge Challenger was driving home after just having purchased it secondhand when both of the front wheels popped at the same time. And when you're working these really fancy cars, there are certain things that are a big no-no, like... And this customer had their friend help them fix their brakes, but had to come in because now they don't have any brakes anymore. This truck came in because of poor acceleration after the customer had changed their own air filter. Apparently, they forgot to put in a new one. Yummy. This truck came in with wheel bearing issues after the customer had tried doing their own quick fix. This car came in because it apparently did not want to stop leaking oil. And the owner of this car had done some brake work at a different shop, but now has a clunking noise when going over bumps. Customer states, my nephew's an electrician, so he does all my electrical work. And this customer came in complaining about their AC not being cool enough, and this is what the mechanic found. This truck came in for its yearly inspection, and this is what the technician ended up finding. Customer states, knocking sounds from engine. Customer came in saying that they were racing their buddy when they suddenly heard a loud bang from the engine bay, and this is what the mechanics found. This car came in because the owner says it screams at him every time he shifts gears. The mechanic found the pilot bearing to be almost non-existent. Customer states, wobbling steering wheel, please advise. And this customer came in saying that they think something's wrong with their tires. Customer states, my car won't go over 1200 RPMs, please advise. The mechanic found that someone had replaced the tube going to the throttle position sensor but had been in a bit of a rush and ended up damaging the connector. This Chevy Sonic had to come in because the owner had tried replacing the head gasket by himself. This 2007 Volkswagen Jetta came in for an oil change, but when the mechanic started telling the customer about the loose radiator, the drain plug that didn't want to be unplugged, and all the other issues that he should probably fix first, the customer just got upset and drove away. This customer came in saying, every time I go over a bump, there's a clunking noise. And this customer had done their own oil change, but accidentally overfilled their car by about 5 quarts. And this customer had their friend tone their windows for cheap, but forgot to check the state regulations before doing it. This customer came in saying they heard a bang when starting their car after their friend had done some work on it the night before. And this car has 0 miles on it, but is already ticking like crazy. Talk about quality right there. Customer came in saying that their engine feels different after having done some off-roading. Thankfully, they came in right on time to have this looked at. This customer installed a light bar on his Ford Raptor by himself, but had to come in because he now has a starting issue. The mechanic said that the Ford Raptor actually has pre-drawn cables which allow you to easily connect accessories, but the customer must have missed that part. And this car came in with a broken 4-wheel drive after the customer had done some off-roading. And this customer had borrowed their truck to a friend for a couple of days and got it back looking like this. Customer states, AC doesn't work and engine makes strange sounds. Turns out that the AC clutch needed to be replaced. The owner of this Honda Fit came in after the AC had stopped working. Once the mechanic started working on it, he found the issue to be caused by the car only having about half of the AC condenser left, which is something he's never come across before. Let us know in the comments if you've ever seen anything like this before. And here's another one of those mysterious starting issues. This customer had dropped their exhaust while driving, but had their body screwed back onto the frame using a bracket that they pointed straight at the fuel tank. Great work! And this customer came in with a clunking noise after having had some work done at another shop. This mechanic finally found his millimeter socket. This customer was afraid that someone would actually try to steal their Kia, so they installed a little James Bond anti-theft gadget. Customer states, car has started to run a bit rough lately, please advise. This customer came in saying that they did not need new brake rotors, but later ended up accepting all repairs. This 92 Chevy CK 1500 came in after the customer had done some work on it all by themselves. And this customer came in complaining about their brake pedal feeling soft after their friend had helped them change the brake fluid. The owner of this car came in with some starting issues after he had installed a new sound system all by himself. Nice! And this customer apparently hit a curb doing 50 miles an hour. This customer had changed his rear shocks all by himself using a YouTube tutorial. And this customer came in because of a bit of a misfire. And this is probably as good as it gets. This change is holding the exhaust up, a wireless O2 sensor, Toyota muffler, a little 90-degree angle that turns into 45, and then we get into the super sealed slinky that doesn't leak at all. And we continue a little further down and we get a Chrysler muffler on a Nissan that sits on a couple of Dodge rims. A piece of art, I'd say. This customer came in complaining about their Escalade shaking a lot when driving over 50 miles an hour. And this car hadn't had an oil change in quite a while. This Honda Accord came in because the owner said it had a really bad grinding noise. The mechanic discovered that the rear brakes had pretty much no pads left and the rotors were completely worn out. And this car rolled in because it wouldn't go into gear anymore after the customer had done some rock crawling together with their buddies. This mechanic thought he was just doing an oil change, but when he opened the hood, he noticed that the radiator was cracked. Customer states, "Tried doing my own paint job, but paint just keeps coming off." And this customer had changed the oil pan gasket by himself and wanted to make sure everything looked out right. And this Dodge probably needs a new thrust bearing. And this truck somehow drove in like this, and apparently just needed an oil change, said the owner. Customer states, clunking sounds when going over bumps after repairs at another shop. This customer came in saying that they hit a curb faster than usual, and now they need a checkup. This customer came in saying that they hear a clunking noise anytime they try to accelerate rapidly. And the owner of this car complained about poor acceleration. Turns out that a squirrel had turned a muffler into a secret stash of nuts. And this customer had driven through a bit of water and had to come in because their car now runs a bit rough. Customer states, "Was racing my buddy, but then I heard a loud bang and the engine shut off. Please advise." And this car came in with a bit of a fuel leak. This car came in because the exhaust system fell off after the owner had just installed it all by himself. And this BMW M3 rolled in because the customer complained about a clunking noise. This customer came in saying that their car runs a bit rough. And the owner of this RV rolled in because they wanted the mechanics to have a look at the LED strip that they had installed by themselves. Apparently, the customer had tried smaller and bigger fuses, but they all just kept blowing for some reason. And the driver door on this BMW apparently only opens when you press in a particular spot. And this customer had done their own oil change but came in because the car now runs really badly for some reason. Turns out that the customer had overfilled the engine by about 5 quarts of engine oil. And when your oil looks like this, you're probably in trouble. Customer states, clunking noises when driving on the freeway. This 2021 Chrysler Pacifica rolled in after the owner complained about squeaky brakes and clunking sounds after their stepson had installed new wheel bearings on it. Apparently, the mechanics found that they forgot to put the bolts back when installing the new bearings, so it's fair to say that they came in right on time. And this customer came in saying that he usually does his own work, but now he just needs an alignment because he doesn't have the time for it himself. And this truck must have been towing something pretty heavy. And the owner of this Mercedes came in saying, "I didn't buy a Merc just to have it sound like this." This customer came in complaining about a clunking noise. This customer came in because their ABS light was on after they had installed a new ABS speed sensor all by themselves. This car came in looking like this after having been parked for a week on the street while the owner was on holiday. This Tesla had to come in after the customer heard a loud sparking noise when trying to charge it. Apparently, the customer had hit a pretty small rock while driving on an unmarked road. And this van came in for an oil change, but when the mechanic went to drive the van into the shop, he found this. And this customer came in saying that his car handles like a bag of potatoes at higher speeds. Customer states, "My tire keeps leaking." This customer came in after they had some valve cover gasket work done at another shop. The mechanic found the VVT cable on the valve cover to be plugged out, few PCB codes, and a bit of an oil leak from this universal oil plug. Yummy. And sometimes the quick fixes are really that quick. And this customer was afraid that their oil filter might fall off, so they made sure to tighten it extra hard. And this is what you do when you want to make sure that you don't have any future oil leaks. This customer had installed their own brake pads, but accidentally put them on backwards. Customer states, "My car sounds like a frisky seal. Please advise." The mechanic said that it turned out to be a clogged PCV valve. And this, ladies and gents, is why mechanics wear gloves and put floor mats in your car before entering. Customer states, "Car is louder than normal and smells like burnt plastic. Please advise." Customer states, "Clunking noises and vibration when driving." The mechanic found the issue to be a worn carrier bearing. Customer states, "Car wobbles and makes clunking sounds." This Saturn Outlook came in because the interior carpet was soaking wet. The mechanic found a broken drain tube to be the issue. And this customer came in because they had lots of vibration when driving. The mechanic found that one of the wheels had been welded a total of 6 times. And this customer came in complaining about exhaust smells inside the cab. This customer needed a new exhaust, so he designed and installed one all by himself. This car came in because the owner complained about a slipping clutch, and this is what the mechanic found. Customer states, "Clunking sounds coming from underneath the truck. Please check and advise." And this Audi Q3 rolled in because it had a knocking sound. This customer had done some work on his car, but had to come in because his wheels now wobble too much. And apparently this Jeep has its evaporator drain right above the engine mount, which is very handy when you want only one particular part of your car to rust like crazy. And this customer had added a bit too much fog light fluid to their car. This 2015 Subaru Crosstrek came in with starting issues because one of the owners had chewed up the fuel and evaporator lines. Customer states, "Car runs rough, has poor acceleration and smells bad." This customer had their buddy fix their fuel pump for them for free, but had to come in because now the car wouldn't start. And the owner of this Lexus wanted another look to the interior, so he painted it all by himself. This car came in for a seasonal tire swap, and the owner said the lug nuts are in the car, but didn't say where, so the mechanic had to go on a little treasure hunt. Customer states, "Wobbly steering wheel." And sometimes all you need is a little quick fix. This 2003 Mercedes S-Class rolled in because it didn't have any brakes after the owner had heard a loud bang while driving on the highway. Apparently the rotor somehow exploded when the customer stepped on the brakes. And this truck came in with a bit of a wobbling issue. And this car came in because of a bit of a knocking sound. This 2019 Challenger came in with some starting issues after the owner had done some electrical work on it together with his father-in-law. The mechanic said that once he replaced the wiring harness, the car fired right up. And this customer came in complaining about a bad smell inside the cab, and this is what the mechanic found. And here's what new ones look like. And this car came in with quite the transmission noise after the customer had hit something on the road. And for some reason, this car had disc brakes on the right side and drum brakes on the left side. Customer states, lots of clunking sounds when turning. This customer had just purchased his car and forgot to check underneath, but was told that it was just fine. Yep, everything's alright, nothing to see here, folks. And this customer was driving through a puddle of water that turned out to be a larger pothole. The owner of this Mercedes had it in for some work at another shop, and they had apparently removed the strut bar in a pretty creative way. If it works, I guess. This customer came in saying that they think they hit something, but they're not quite sure. Customer states, hit a hole in the road and now I hear a rattling sound. Please advise. And this differential has definitely seen some better days. And here's a little quick tip if you don't have a funnel on you when changing oil. The dipstick works just fine. And this customer came in complaining about their car taking forever to start and that it makes popping sounds when driving. The mechanic found the crankshaft sprocket to be the main culprit. This Ford F550 came in because it kept leaking transmission fluid. Turns out that it was caused by a tiny crack in the torque converter. The owner of this car says he does all his own work, but now has a starting issue that he just can't figure out. And this 2019 Audi RS3 came in because the owner said that he heard a loud pop when driving and then the car suddenly stopped. And this custom Jeep came in with some custom limiting straps on the rear axle. The owner said that they had done the job all by themselves but had to come in because of a brake issue. This customer came in because their car was smoking a lot after the customer accidentally filled it up with diesel instead of gas. And this car came in because it kept having low oil pressure after the owner had hit something on the road. Yum. This customer came in saying that they just had an oil change at another shop, but now the car is running really bad. And this customer came in saying that they hadn't had an oil change in a while and thinks it might be time. The mechanic also found there to be pretty much no oil left in the engine. And this car came in to get some new brakes installed, but the mechanics found that it needed a little bit more work than just brakes. Customer states, my brakes are really squeaky. Please check and advise. This customer had a bit of a noise when going over bumps after having fixed their suspension with some zip ties. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and until next time.